And now, the grand finale of VOLO Climate Correction Conference 2026. Drum roll, please. This session, the Visioneers, features the amazing Zay Harding, executive producer and host of the Visioneers. The only person more impressive than Zay is his brother Burr. Sorry, couldn't stop myself. And he is going to be speaking to us today, together with the project Lead Kind Designs, Maddie, Rieger. Jay, please come on up and enlighten us about how you keep inspiration and hope alive in the hearts and minds of all of us that care about solutions. Thank you.
I'm Zay Harding. Join me on a mission of discovery.
That is incredible.
To meet the dreamers who are building a future that protects our planet and each other. Welcome to the Visioneers.
Yes! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Visioneers, and welcome to Climate Correction 2026. It is truly an honor to be in a room full of people who are so passionate about protecting the future of our planet. Normally, a climate convention shows graphs of doom and gloom and depressing charts. We're not going to do any of that. This is going to be a conversation, because that's how we're going to find a solution to our climate issue. That's how we're going to make it correct. This is climate correction. The answer is not going to be with one person. It's not going to be with one innovation. It's not going to be with one leader, not even with one country. It is going to happen when everybody in the world decides to step it up and look inward and do our own responsible part to make a difference. And that's why I'm so excited to share with you this project, the Visioneers that we've created. I am very lucky to have teamed up with David and Thais Vogel and VOLO Foundation, and VP of Environmental Strategies in Film and Television, Alex Delgado, so that I could develop, produce, and host this amazing project, which happens to embody everything VOLO Foundation is about. Enhancing education, speeding up change for positive impact around the globe, involving, I know these things. I'm going to look at my notes here because it is important. Oh, here we go. Using science-backed solutions for climate so that we can build a healthier planet. And we're doing this by going into people's homes every Saturday on CBS, into their televisions, and making them aware so that they can start this conversation at home. And we're doing it by telling stories so it doesn't feel like they're being schooled. It's really important to utilize that because we don't want to turn people off, but we do need people aware. I believe that when people are educated about this stuff, they do want to make the better decision about things. So what do we focus on? We focus on the balance of our planet, the ways people are protecting its resources, the delicate relationship between human progress and environmental responsibilities. We separate fact from fiction. We examine how human history has shaped our planet. And we meet eco-heroes, climate crusaders, and sustainability champions, people who are not waiting for permission, people who simply decided, I'm going to do something about this. People who look at a problem and decide, it's me, I'm going to change that. It's all summed up with one word, and that's Visioneer. So, where do we find these? Now we've got our idea, we've got our team behind it, but we have to create this project. And where do we find these people? Well, they're going to come probably everywhere. Scientists, engineers, biologists, teachers, designers, artists, farmers, community leaders, and even kids. Students. It's really exciting. Everybody is affected by climate change. So everybody has an idea about how they can make the world a better place. Sometimes they create new innovations. Sometimes they revive old ideas like ground refrigerators or these earth smiles that we found in Kenya. Those are old ideas that are brought back into modern society because they're really good. And sometimes we just choose to re-educate people or educate them at all about how to do something properly, like recycle. Anyone can be a Visioneer, and we do find them everywhere. We find them remotely around the world. We find them domestically. We find them in the wilderness. We find them in cities. So I'm going to give 3 examples of Visioneers that we actually featured in our series. One of them is 12 years old, Anirudh Rao. So when he was 5, bless you, when he was 5, his best friend lost his home in a tornado. And he thought, there has to be more warning. Back then, the Doppler only gave them 13 minutes of warning. And so for the next 7 years, he studied nature. And he realized that animals seem to have a warning up to 2 hours before. So what is it? And he analyzed it, and he found out that there's actually an ultrasonic wavelength that gets emitted from just tornadoes at a certain frequency, and you know it's that. So he developed this sensor with his dad and put it, 3D printed a case for it, sent it up on drones, and now he's working with National Weather Service to help this. It's just 30 minutes before a Doppler can. It's 43 minutes he now has warning. And he's 12. He's a Visioneer. It's remarkable. Then there's Ree Wilder, 3 designers, Lisa Sedlecki, Jenny Silbert, and Stephanie Choi. And they decided we've got to intercept a lot of the stuff that's going to landfills. Landfills are a horrible thing. They sit there, and as they degrade, microplastics get into our soil, which goes down to the ocean, which gets eaten by the fish, which ends up being eaten by us and in our brains. So we're all walking around with microplastics in us right now, hugely because of the landfills. So they thought if we could intercept stuff waste before it goes. Sorry, does someone have water? I'm just getting parched. I want to be able to tell you the rest of my story. And they thought if we can intercept this stuff, that is going to make a difference. So they went up. Thank you so much. So they went up to companies that had excess waste, like car companies, airbags, seat belts, surplus karate belts, anything, concert tents, banners from concerts around the city. You see those things. There's 30,000 of those every year that get changed. Where do they go? Well, they're like, give them to us. Concert T-shirts once they're used. And they said, we're going to make something fashionable out of these. It's going to feel new because the stuff has never been used. Or if it is, we can wash it down and make it look new. And they're designers. And they've been able to create incredible things, purses, accessories, even furniture. They are Visioneers. Thirdly, there's an entire country, Denmark. Copenhagen has Copenhill. It's incredible. You want to talk about saving the landfills. They are actually scraping up landfills, bringing that hundreds of trucks a day, going hundreds of miles, going into other countries, grabbing their waste, bringing it to their waste-to-energy facility that they've built, which is a giant incinerator, which turns all that waste into electricity and heat for the entire city. So they love it. The entire city is on board, and the CEO of that decided to make it even cooler so it doesn't look like an eyesore. He's covered it all. You won't even know it's there. It looks like a ski mountain. You can ski down it and also rock climb up it. There's a rock climbing park. And instead of being undesirable to live next to it, these people are actually now paying more. It's become expensive real estate to live by this. And you know, it's solving the problem because there's no smoke coming out of it either. They've figured out a way that actually cleans up the pollution while it's doing all of this. It's incredible. Just steam comes out of it. So the CEO and the entire country of Copenhagen are Visioneers. So then we've got these stories, and we have to figure out a way to tell them that is fun, and it doesn't feel like it's being, you know, thrown down our throat, because it is a conversation we need to have, but we also want them to be excited to have this conversation and not scared of it. So I'm going to actually show you a clip of an example of from our very first episode. This is an incredible woman named Anya Freeman, and she left her career as a lawyer. So she was defending people, then she decided, I need to defend our coastlines from erosion, from storm surges, from flooding. And at the same time, she thought, I don't want to just do this to protect the people. We got to also protect the sea life. So take a look at her nature-based solution for both land and sea.
Did you know seawalls protect us from flooding, storm surges, and even rising sea levels? It's true. In places like Miami, Florida, seawalls are critical to keep the ocean from flooding and destroying communities. But how do seawalls actually protect us? And how do they impact the sea life around them? Hey, Anya!
Hi, Zay! Welcome to Miami!
Thank you, thank you. Anya is the founder of a Miami-based company that's setting out to bring seawalls into the 21st century.
We are 3D printing living seawalls to protect every coastal city from flooding and rising sea levels, and to create marine habitats for sea life.
So what is a seawall? Let's start with that.
Seawalls are what protects the land from flooding. Like if a house is on the ocean, the seawall is between where the house ends and the ocean begins. But unfortunately, there are some problems.
What are the problems you're trying to fix then?
One is they're really expensive, and a lot of people can't afford them. So they may have a house near the water, it's getting flooded, but they can't afford to put in a seawall.
And yours are cheaper.
Exactly. And the second problem is regular seawalls are really bad for sea life because they're leaching chemicals into the water, and because they're flat. So all the fish and all the sea life that was living by the coast, it has nothing to attach to during storm events and surges. And so all of that sea life migrates. It leaves the area, and nobody's left to eat the toxins in the water.
But Anya's seawalls are designed to mimic the way mangrove tree roots naturally grow. Mangrove forests are found throughout Florida's coast and waterways, and they're a vital part of the ecosystem.
The whole point of the biomimicry design like this is to attract native species. So you see all this special texture?
Yeah.
This is called rugosity, a special science word.
Rugosity?
No, rugosity.
Rugosity.
R-U-G.
Rugosity. It means texture. Okay.
Yes.
Rugosity.
Yeah, now you sound very smart.
And the fish believe it's real.
Yes. When corals are little babies, they need shade. So they start growing in these little layers. And then the bigger shapes, this is great for bigger sea life, so they can hide in these caves from predators.
So how are they made? I mean, it looks like layers. Is it made like that?
Oh, wait till you see.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Isn't it amazing?
It's so fast.
Our baby at work. So this is a very special robot because of the speed.
Yeah.
It's printing 1.5 feet per second.
That is extremely fast, and it's drying fast too.
Yeah, so the layer time is only about 20 seconds. So it has to harden in 20 seconds to support the next layer. Otherwise, everything would just collapse.
And how long does it take to get an entire wall built?
We build a 10-foot wall in 1 hour. Do you want to help us out today?
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, if you think that your walls are okay with me and a first time.
We can try, I'm not sure. But the team is going to be putting in the rebar.
So what is the rebar for? Reinforcement?
Exactly. So the rebar keeps the seawall really strong so it can withstand even hurricane conditions.
Tanya, come to this side. Zay, you're going to stay over there.
All right.
You guys are going to pick up one piece of rebar.
Ready, set, go. Oh.
Hold it there.
Wait. All right.
That thing dries fast. And look, it's already being incorporated.
Exactly. Exactly. You did an amazing job placing the rebar.
Thank you.
Do you want to go see some of these being installed in the water?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the office.
This is how you get to work each day,
I know, isn't it crazy?
I like it. I can get used to this. How much does this water level fluctuate here on this little river?
About 2 to 4 feet. So right now it's low tide, and you see some of the older houses with the older seawalls, the water's already almost up to their yard. Houses like that experience flooding every day. First off, we're going to Palm Island. It's one of the most beautiful islands in Miami Beach. And right now, in this very moment, they're installing a living seawall. So exciting! Woo!
Look at that.
Hey guys!
How much does each one weigh?
Yes, well, how much do you think it weighs?
1,000 pounds?
More.
More? 1,200 pounds?
10,000 pounds. Each one is 10,000
What?
pounds. That's like 2 cars.
Oh my gosh, that's heavy. Look, manatees. So they like this stuff.
It's like, well, see all of the shapes and the textures?
Yeah.
It's great for algae to start growing on the living seawall, and manatees love to eat algae.
So this is going to encourage sea life to grow on it, and that's the
Exactly.
same stuff that manatees eat. So they're going to
Yes.
love coming up to it.
Manatee buffet.
Manatee buffet.
Yeah, we're so excited to have a project in a manatee zone.
I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. So
Thanks
much
for
fun.
being such a good visionary.
I will stop at nothing to make this a gigantic global success, not for myself, but to bring this technology to every community so they are safe from flooding, so sea life is flourishing. So many people are worried about rising sea levels and climate changes, and my advice to them would be take action.
That's That is some good advice. Take action. And as you can see, it's a fun way to learn. I learned a new word, rugosity. And Anya was actually going to be here tonight, but excitingly, she got a call from the US government. So she's in Washington, D.C. right now talking about incorporating this across the country, which is really amazing. In her place, she has actually sent her partner, her business partner, Maddie Rieger. I'd like to bring you out to the stage right now, please.
Hi, Zay.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome, have a seat. Welcome to my humble abode up here on stage. So I'm curious how you got involved with this project and how Anya's vision affected you in your life.
Yeah, that's a great question. First, I want to say thank you to Volo Foundation and thank you, Zay.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the Visioneers yet, it's an amazing show. It's the sort of show I wish I grew up on when I was younger. I'm a huge nature lover myself, but really seeing what people can do when they have a vision and take it to the next level and actually take action. You need leaders like that, and this show is a perfect example of that.
Thank
So first, kudos to you for the amazing show and Volo Foundation. But how I got involved with Anya, actually, and where our story really began was when I was younger, growing up in Vermont. So far away from Miami. As I mentioned, always loved the environment, was always outdoors, that kid that was always running around in the grass barefoot. And I knew I wanted to have a positive impact on the environment. I came to Miami, I was studying marine biology, and I was working and living in South Florida, doing sea turtle biology, coral research, and there was just one thing that remained true in all of this, and that we were losing our marine life, losing marine habitats. And this made myself really sad and the rest of our team because we're all outdoorsy people, we love being outside. And this is when I began to intersect with Anya, is how we were both experiencing flooding and sea level rise living in Miami. And along with our other team, I have stories of just walking down the street, suddenly it starts to rain, and you're knee-deep in water. And Anya has stories where she had to leave her job, had to leave the courthouse in the middle of the day to go back and move her car from flooding. And so this issue of sea level rise, we saw how obvious it was. And then not just for Miami, where people were saying, say goodbye to Miami, say goodbye to your home city.
I remember people saying it, yeah.
Yeah, so we were like, we're not going to take this and we're not going to say goodbye to our home. We're going to find a solution, and we're going to build something that protects our coastal cities, but also, rather than destroying marine habitats with building new infrastructure, creating harmony between the built environment and the natural environment to create something that brings the two together, which is our living seawalls.
Which is amazing. And you personally were in charge of contributing for the marine ecosystem protection as well.
Yeah, so as you guys are familiar with, in South Florida, we have beautiful mangrove ecosystems. And we wanted to replicate that with our living seawalls so that you get fish habitat, you get the oysters, you can get corals living up in that space. And a lot of traditional seawalls are just flat surfaces. So now with a living seawall, we've created this mangrove root design. And from my background in marine biology, we were able to create a design that's effective for fish, lobsters, crabs, everything. And even when you get oysters living on it, you get water quality benefits too.
You're filtering the water, and you're mimicking the mangrove, so biomimicry.
So through biomimicry, we not only are able to replicate mangroves, but with 3D printing, what's so amazing is that you can replicate not only the South Florida environment, but any coastal city's natural environment. So we're now scaling this technology to all coastal cities at risk. So that's part of why Anya's up in DC today, is so that she can expand this technology to all coastal cities around the US and even eventually globally.
Amazing. And also I learned that it's actually, a regular seawall is harder on the ecosystem because it ricochets back at all the sea life and drives them away.
Exactly. So what you're seeing is wave reflection. So we call it the washer effect, actually. How a washer machine goes in a circle like this. With your flat wall, you have energy from the waves that comes up, hits the wall, bounces back, and you get this ricocheting effect of the energy just flipping around. And this is harmful to the seawall. It can cause more flooding. But with our living seawalls, we actually are attenuating that energy. So we're reducing flooding, we're helping the sea level rise, and we're able to minimize that washer effect.
I love it. All right, so I mentioned earlier this is a conversation, and we have the opportunity to talk to Maddie or myself. Are there any questions you guys have for either of us? Yes. Miami? Oh.
Is it primarily in South Florida, or are you selling the walls North Florida, I guess?
Yeah, we sell them all around Florida, and that's why I mentioned to Zay, we're not only working on mangrove root designs, we're taking this idea of biomimicry and matching whatever natural ecosystem you're putting it in. So as we move up more in Florida, the ecosystem changes a little. You don't see mangroves as up north, so we're changing our designs a bit for that as well.
Anybody else? Yes. Oh, whoever.
Hi, what is your oldest wall, and have you seen life growing on it already?
Our oldest wall is about 2.5 years now, and just within 5 months, we saw it completely covered in oysters. If you looked at the flat wall next to it, it had been there for 40 years and there was ultimately no growth on it. So that wall in Miami Beach is actually restoring and repairing the water quality. And then other than that, we had FIU actually monitor several installations in South Florida across 3 installations. We saw just over 51 species in a year. So it's amazing what we're seeing already. And it just continues to grow and grow over time.
Anyone else? Yeah, it is remarkable. I mean, you and Anya are perfect examples of how knowledge is actually helping create a better solution. Part of this conversation, I want to keep that going as well. I actually want to ask you guys if there's anyone, and this is not a rhetorical question, so please speak out, because that's how we're going to find solutions. If you're not sure, let someone offer an idea to you. But is there anyone here who has, who wishes there was a climate correct solution within their own field? You're all super happy with the way things are going? Yeah.
Take a question here. Hi, I'm part of the staff, and I just see how Visioneers is exploring new technologies, exploring robotic, and I would like to talk with you and actually ask if you're seeing any kind of AI technology or anything related to green informatics in upcoming episodes of Visioneers, because I think this is something that we can improve. We use a lot of energy just to, to keep running the AI, to keep running our modern world, and I would like to see if you have anything planned for the Visioneers in the future.
Yeah, I'm smiling because everyone at the front table is having guys' ideas. Yes, we do. Yeah, we've got pollinators that are they're learning to mimic bees, what they do to cross-pollinate, so in case the bee population does go, that will be covered. We've got fish that are, robotic fish that are going in, gathering information in a non-invasive way that can't be done with people. We've got recycling bins that are analyzing if something can actually be recycled or not, and what they're doing is they're taking note of what company is that's not recyclable, and they're sending them messages. So it's very exciting. There's even you talk about like AI itself, the actual giant supercomputers. We visited one in Switzerland, and they're actually utilizing the coolness way down below, 50 meters deep or 50 feet deep in the lake, to pump that up and run right by in hoses, run right throughout the computer system to cool it naturally. And then when they bring it down, it actually falls into a turbine that generates electricity and power for that to do it on its own. And then it's put out in a part of the lake where it can regulate itself to get cool again, and it's not going to kill the population from its heat that it just got from the transfer. So yeah, we're just right now researching for our next season, which we're going to start filming soon.
Yeah, no, and I love that. It's good to know that we're moving forward in the right direction.
Thank you.
Because if we want to keep the world running as we know it, and we want to keep improving as humanity, I think environmental efforts will be really appreciated, to be sure that our activities are not really accelerating a process that is already running. So
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for the question. Anybody else have an issue that they might want to mention so that people can start thinking about it in their own field? Any field? Your hometown. Oh, yes, sir.
I work in urban forestry, and we have what we call urban wood, which is reusing wood trees that fall down in the city. We do projects with that so that it's not wasted, it just goes to the landfill. But in the carbon sequestration, we plant a lot of trees to soak up carbon, but when they die, they fall over and they just decompose, and that carbon's released back into the atmosphere. So the real forestry is part of the problem, part of the solution, but the real solution is going to come when we have a second use for wood. So it might be biochar. Burning the wood in energy doesn't really fix that. So a second life for trees, or for that wood, that's trees that die, would be the solution. Or that's the solution we're looking for.
And have you thought of an actual solution for it or not?
Well, it's a difficult problem because it's so spread out, forests everywhere. But in the Amazon, the tiny, not zooplankton, but the phytoplankton travels from the Amazon out into the ocean, sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and that's one way that carbon is sequestered, right? But can we take trees and sink them in the bottom of the ocean? I mean, how do we get rid of this carbon? And that's, again, it's not a total solution, but it's one small solution if we need many.
It's a visionary idea. I like that. That makes you a visioneer. Let's explore that more. That's a great idea. Anybody else? This is the room you want to bring it up because you got great minds. And what you did just now there, sir, was you have now got us all thinking about that. And probably at 2 in the morning or first thing in the morning, we're going to wake up and we're going to have a bright idea. And that's what's going to help make the climate correct.
I have one again. I was the artist that was standing there earlier. I was a teacher for 24 years. And I keep thinking that nutrition and just the way we manage food in our public school system is horrible. I have a vision of every school having food gardens and classes that actually have the kids grow their own food and just cook with it so that their nutrition is improved, their focus is improved, their connection to nature is improved, and the waste that we create because our lunches and breakfasts, I guess because they're free, but it's just a horrible vision for this country. I think this country can do better to feed our children.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good one.
I don't have a solution. I'm just putting it out there.
I've got a hand over here. It happens to be Thais.
We do. Where is it on? Oh, okay. She reminded me that we have that solution. We have a project with World Wildlife, and it's called
Food Waste Warriors.
Food Waste Warriors. So get on board with that.
Yeah. Ask your representatives too to get on board with that. We also had a really cool idea that was in our series up in Norway. Hurtigruten. It was the first hybrid cruise, which is its own thing. But what they did, because during the winter there's no way you can drive through the snow, so they used this boat, the ship, to transport stuff, including food. But they took all their waste. The chef had an idea to just take that waste and give it as compost to the farmer who they buy their food from. So it helps, it's cyclical, and it's reusing that in such a positive way that it helps themselves in the end too. So, but I like the garden thing too, and you get the students involved. Maybe have the students just start it, and the school is going to have to get on board to support it with that many people. There's power in numbers. So keep raising that issue around your school. PTA meetings as well, yes.
Yeah, hi there. I'm Dave Finnegan. I know most of you, I think, but I wanted to make sure that everybody knows about the Green Actioneers program, because it's a Visioneer program.
Yeah.
We go into schools, we spend a week, Monday through Friday, the kids get to go through the book, and the book has 100 things that families can do. And then on Friday evening, we have family night. And at family night, all the families get a copy of the book, and they take it home and get to work. And what they're working on is doing the 95 actions that are in the book. And when they do them, the kids get to win merit badges, which everybody likes. So this is like scouting for the 21st century. There's lots of detail to it, charts on the wall, congratulations to the kids. The whole thing ends on Earth Day with a parade for the planet, where all the kids in the school parade through the city, in our case, Celebration, Florida, with a banner telling everybody what it is that they've been doing. And thanks to AI, we now also have a comic book version of our book, and we have 95 songs for the 95 green actions in the book. So if anybody's interested in that, I'd love to talk to any of you Visioneers about Green Actioneers.
Yeah, no, that's great. Very visionary of you. And I like how you made it fun, and you're earning badges. It's really rewarding to. I bet, yeah. So anyone involved with schools, you want to? Are you raising your hand back there, or somebody up?
It's the mic.
It's the what?
The mic.
You need it?
I have it.
Oh, okay. Do you want to share any issues you have?
Well, yeah, I got to say that's really impressive what they're doing, and education, it seems like, in a lot of these climate developing opportunities is the most key important piece. And in my industry, it's forestry, biomass management. I think we understand that we have a significant amount of wood waste in this state, and what we do is sustainable biomass management, converting the wood waste into biochar on the job sites with a Tiger Cat carbonizer. But the question I have for Maddie is, and by the way, I've seen these living seawalls in Fort Lauderdale with Maddie's company, and they're exceptional. I encourage everybody who has anybody that lives in South Florida along the canals to reach out, because it's really impressive what they're doing. But when we talk about ecosystems, how did Kind Designs incorporate this innovative, sustainable technology into the current ecosystem that Fort Lauderdale has through like the political sphere?
Yeah, that's an exceptional question. Zach, thank you so much. The biggest challenge we actually faced when we first got started was regulatory hurdles for getting our product in the water. First, we had to educate people what a living seawall was. And before that, people don't even know what a seawall is sometimes. So we had to really start with educating what your seawall is, what's going on with your seawall, why we need to repair, replace them, and why it's important to make it a living seawall, and what those benefits bring to it. So we first started with socializing the idea, and then secondary, we moved into how we actually were able to implement living seawalls. And a lot of these, we faced so many regulatory hurdles. The frameworks that they had in place didn't always support a living seawall. So actually, that's part of why Anya's up in DC, is expanding and socializing this idea, educating people what's a living seawall and how we can accept it and change legislation for it. We actually recently changed Miami-Dade County's legislation, very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hadn't changed. So you can actually thank so many people, not just the Kind Designs team. The new mayor of Miami, Eileen Higgins, was part of this, as well as engineers, marine contractors, expert developers. We brought so many people together in this field, and that shows how important it is to have visioneers that come together with visions and dreams to make something and initiate this change. So we brought this group together. Your issue with Miami-Dade County in the legislation was that a traditional seawall permit would take 4 years. People's seawall would literally be falling in the water, and they couldn't get a permit to replace their seawall. So we weren't just creating a solution where we could get living seawalls in the water, we were fixing a problem that the marine construction industry had as a whole. So now permits went from 4 years to 90 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And something else you did very cleverly was you made the size meet and match the standard seawall size.
Yeah,
so that
exactly.
you could literally just replace it.
Yeah, we say it's plug and play. So we didn't want to reinvent the wheel. When a lot of people see a new product, they say, oh, you're reinventing something. They get a little scared and want to run away. So we're just innovating in an industry that hasn't had innovation in over 100 years. So we made our seawalls identical to a traditional seawall, so you can plug it in whenever you're using a traditional seawall.
In size.
Yeah, exactly. Identical in size, in make, and everything. But instead of having a flat face, you have an artificial reef structure on the face of the wall, mimicking those mangrove roots, providing that habitat. And legislators love it so much that they're actually creating incentives to push it into projects. So now in Fort Lauderdale, they're working on a 100% permit rebate so that it'll be even easier to get a living seawall in the water.
Nice. And it looks like they're very fast to make.
Yeah, they're super fast. So traditional construction, it takes about 28 days to just make one living seawall panel, or one seawall panel.
One seawall, yeah.
And with a living seawall, we can print one panel in just 1 hour.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That is great. So you can meet the demands if they're there.
We can meet the demand, and then even we can bring a robot with 3D printing technology. We can bring robots out to site. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anybody else? Yes. Green shirt.
I just wanted to add about the food waste. O-Town Compost is a Visioneer, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
one of 20, well, I'm a teacher at one of 24 schools that are composting in our cafeterias. And so today here, like the composting bins that are around are from O-Town Compost. So they started, I think, with a lot less schools, and they've just been building up with us, but they're all around Orlando as well. So they're taking food waste and bringing it to local farms, turning it into compost, and then bringing it back to us. They brought us a couple bags the other day of soil that we can use on our urban farm.
Nice.
Yeah, so
very cool. And actually, that's something that we all can do in our own lives. Just get a little compost bin. We started doing that. Trust me, our whole crew is checking each other to make sure we're doing our best to live a sustainable life as well. And that's something I encourage all of you guys to do. Yes?
Yes, so I'd like to bring to everyone's attention sort of four of my clients that all work in different solutions globally. One of them is Tinte. They have a biotechnology to replace chemical dyes in sort of the garment industry. There's Sneaker Impact, some of you might know Mo, who both does upcycling and recycling of sneakers globally all around the world. And some of you also might know Oscar and Click Eat, which has a B Corp natural combustible utensils. One of their largest customers is Delta Airlines, and they just won another big airline in Chile. And then last, Shorelock, which has a biopolymer that Maddie might know about in working with Kind Designs, because I know that he speaks fairly highly about them, and enhances the interaction of sand particles to resist erosions for a more stable coastline. So just bring attention to those four companies.
Yeah, nice. One thing I do want to say, that is the issue of the dye for sneakers. There's a company up in England called Colorifics. It's incredible what they have done. It basically, they've gone to the DNA of nature, literally. So if there's a blue in a butterfly, they'll take out the DNA from that butterfly that makes the blue pigment, and they'll insert it into yeast, growing bacteria. And they reproduce that color because they become that. It becomes incorporated into their DNA. And so that's a natural color, which actually works. And we watched it. It takes a couple hours to yeah. Anybody else? Okay, well, so these are great examples. Thank you all for sharing. It is important that when we're not sure, we need help to voice it. Because now you've got everybody thinking about it, and I'm sure people are going to be coming to you. And I love that you are incorporating that with kids, because we have realized through the show, it's on Saturday mornings, and so it's really catered to kids. Kids, when they see other kids on it, they really feel empowered. And I'm 84, and I've never missed it. So it's not just for kids. It's for 84-year-old kids, too. And so I actually, because talk is one thing and it's a conversation, the other thing is action. So I want to make this personalize all of this and give it personal agency for everyone here who's come today. And I want to do something we did in Jamaica, where the kids who were learning about what they could do, they all wanted to know, well, how can I help? I'm just a kid. And if you make this promise that you want to make a difference, you will. And so I want everybody to stand up and raise your right hand and join in on this commitment here. So say it with me. I pledge to strive for excellence within my life, holding myself to the highest standards of action. I will not wait for others to lead, and I will take responsibility for the impact of my choices today. I recognize that no one can solve this crisis alone. It is a shared responsibility met through our everyday decisions, not annual gestures. I leave this room committed to action, grateful for our shared purpose, and ready to lead by example beyond these walls in support of climate correction. Yes! Doesn't that feel powerful? And you're all witnesses to each other, so hold each other accountable. Thank you all for being here, and thank you all for choosing to be Visioneers. Like Caroline right here, an amazing person. You are amazing.